Yeah.
Okay, I missed this super chat, but I hope we've answered this question. And I'm going to read your pun. So totally worth for the Moe's dude. This on a $20 super chat. What's in the cards for UT this season if you were to predict?
Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Yeah. You pay $20, I will read your pun.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, if that's like just asking that question, I don't know, man. They're a question to me just because of really Quinn Ewers. If he's as advertised, then he's got fun toys to play with, and I think that even if the offensive line isn't great, that Sark is about as good as you can possibly find as far as an offensive mind goes, and he will find ways to, have them explosive, and they might not be able to necessarily grind out drives over and over again, but they can hit you with those quick shots that I think will, keep teams off balance defensively. I know there's some questions there. So I don't know, man. I don't really I'm not in with them in Big 12 championships. I just haven't really felt that, but I do think they're like an 8-9-ish win team if things go well, and I'm really hesitant to go far beyond that. And I don't really think that they should be too much lower than that. I think maybe you could pass off a 7-win season with Ewers. Do you think that would be acceptable?
Well, considering that last year they had 5.
Yeah, that'd be gross, yeah.
You have to grow. And
depending on how he plays.
Well, one of the things also, they might have gotten a couple transfers, but, one of them is not going to play this year in Isaiah Neor. And
I hate that loss for them.
That's a gut-wrenching loss. It's a gut-wrenching loss because I want to see Isaiah Neor play at this level. He's been at Wyoming. I want to see him play in the Power 5. I think that their fans need to be ready for the fact that, they could be better, but I don't think you can fool themselves into say that they have the depth that some of the other teams that have done this before in the Big 12 and around the country do. I think that's going to be the stark difference against Alabama, because historically in games like the ones against Alabama, the Longhorns will play their asses off. They'll do really well, and they'll make a great showing.
Notre Dame, Texas is back, if we'll remember the Tyrone swoops.
They're really one of the only teams that made Joe Burrow sweat at all.
Nearly beat LSU.
So, but if not for a couple of Joey Magic throws in that game, we might be singing a different story about the 2019 team. But what got them in that game, and I think what will eventually get them at Alabama, is the depth that LSU had then, the depth that Alabama will have now, is deeper than what Texas has. Yeah. So again, depth is what's gonna mess them up, because you're gonna have injuries.
Yeah.
It's not.
I think they're gonna high score with folks. I think they're gonna be, it's a high scoring offense that is able to win shootouts. But yeah, I'd probably go the 8-win range right now. I think. What do you guys think? That's about fair?
Yeah.
7-5. You go, okay, 7-5. Yeah. I think that's about fair for them.
Yeah. You can. There's gonna be a game that they're probably gonna have like Oklahoma last year, where they jump out to a big lead and lose. And then there's going to be another game where the offense probably stalls and they lose that kind of game because, there's inexperience all around. And then there's going to be a game where you're like, holy crap, they really took it to Oklahoma State, who is supposed to be better than them. And then that's going to make people go, oh, holy cow.
I do think this, and then you probably need to take a break, but I was looking at various websites the other day, and I came across Coach's Hot Seat, which is always a fun site to see. And I don't know how often they update it, and I don't recall what the last update was when I looked at it, but it had Sark up there in the top 5 of his jobs. I don't think he's getting fired under any circumstance this year outside of a personal issue, which, knock on wood, I don't want that to happen, or they go 2-10. And I don't think that's feasible at all, no matter who the quarterback is. So I don't think, and I'm sure we're going to hear it the first time they lose a game, Sark's on, I don't think he's on a hot seat at all this year, at all. And I'm not even going to let that enter my brain unless they lose 5 in a row, or, again, demons hit, which God forbid that happens. But I think he's safe, man. I think they realize, the transition period they're in and the way he's recruiting, they got to give this thing some time, man. The last thing Del Conte can do is do what every other Texas AD has done over the last 20 years and feel like they just are owed a championship and it should be happening within 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
If they let Sark just cook, man, then I think that they have their best chance to actually return to greatness. So I don't think he's under any pressure, and I do think that bodes well in a way for UT this year. No matter what the outsiders, I really don't think that that's the case inside the